Hey everyone, this is Julia Sarver, and the recording is officially starting for our live Q&A session, where today we're going to be talking about the Detox Done program and how you can run a cleanse. So there are some people who are live with us who've asked some questions, which is fantastic. And then also I'll be answering some questions that were emailed in, and then I'm also going to answer some of the most commonly asked questions. So this is intended to be a conversation. So if you have questions, you are welcome to post them, even if it's something that I've answered and you want to say like, wait a minute, I need a little bit more info. That's okay. So I want to make sure that you know you can do that. So to start, I just want to make sure that everybody who's here and who's listening to this has access to the class that I've taught called How to Run a Cleanse. So if you have not watched that class yet, I'm going to really encourage you to register for that class. It's 2.5 hours of high quality, solid information about how you can run a cleanse program of your own and what I did for my cleanse program. And for those of you who don't know me well, I just want to share a little bit about myself, but I'll also post that link in the chat. So, and if you're one of the people who's calling in on the phone, you can just find that link. It's called howtorunacleanse.com. If you opt in there, you'll get the recording to that class. And in that class, I shared a little bit about how I ended up serving over 1,000 clients in just a couple of years with my cleanse program. It was pretty remarkable. It was something that I never set out to do as a health coach. I didn't, wake up one day and think, oh my gosh, I love detoxing so much, I'm going to offer a detox or cleanse program. In fact, the exact opposite was true for me. So one of the funnier parts of my story is that I'm actually really terrible at cleansing. And one of the reasons I came up with my own detox program was because I was trying everybody else's programs and I just could not make it work. I would, I did a 3-day Khichdi cleanse and I couldn't do it. That's an Ayurvedic cleanse. My husband couldn't eat Indian food for like 2 years because he couldn't stand the smell anymore. I've done vegan cleanses, juice cleanses, all kinds of things, and I was never able to be successful. Well, I found that that it was kind of a problem because a lot of my clients were asking me for detox suggestions, and I realized that I needed to give them something where they could succeed. And I knew that if I wasn't succeeding, if I as a health coach and somebody who was already advanced couldn't succeed, then I really needed to create a program where they could be successful, where they wouldn't end up in a situation where they were wanting to do a cleanse, but then halfway through quitting, like what I had done. So I ended up creating this 5-day detox. It's 5 days long. It's not complicated. It's a whole foods-based cleanse. And as people ran through it, they started getting really amazing results. The first time I did it, I had 37 people sign up, and I kind of threw it out there as like hey, I am thinking about running this cleanse. Who wants to join me? So a bunch of people emailed me back and said, yes, I do. And then I thought, well, we better have them put their money where their mouth is, because I didn't want to create this big program and then not make any money, because I knew it would be a lot of work to create all the recipes, to create the documents, the protocol. So I basically wrote them back and said, okay, well, I'm doing a pre-sale. Sent the pre-sale info out, said, if you have to buy by this date, and we're going to start the cleanse about 2 weeks later. Well, 37 people signed up. So for me, that was the very first time I offered it. So for me, that was a huge sign that this program was working. And I find for a lot of health coaches, this program works because as we start our business and we start bringing people in and we want to have private clients are totally great. And private clients, not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to make that financial investment. Not everyone wants to make that time investment. So you can see that it's not always a thing that's the right fit, which is why it's nice to offer something like a short cleanse program. So that's a very quick background to how I did this. It ended up becoming the absolute cornerstone of my business. I started running cleanses that were regularly serving between 80 and 100 people at once. So when you think about it, it's a pretty nice infusion of cash into your business. And because I was working with so many people and I was getting so much exposure, I was getting invited to do speaking gigs, and I was getting invited to teach as part of a team for one of our county governments here. And then I got, my business really grew from this because I was getting people really great results. They loved working with me. And then because they loved working with me, they started talking about me. And it was actually pretty fantastic the way that it grew my business by doing this detox program. So So that's where I started. And I went to IIN. So for those of you who don't know what that is, that's the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I went there when it was in 2009. I started seeing clients the same year. My business, to be totally honest with you guys, was fine. Like, it was fine. I had clients, but I was like, there has to be more to this. And it wasn't until I offered the Cleanse program that my business really exploded. And I was able to regularly have 5-figure months, serve hundreds of clients every year. It really became exciting at that point. So I tell you all that so that you know why I'm even talking about this. I had a lot of health coaches asking me over the years if I could share the method to my madness with them as a program. And for a lot of years I said no, because I thought, well, what do I know? I'm just running this program. But now that I've run the program for 4 years and I've had so many clients sign up, I really realized that I do have something special. I have clients who come back time and time again. I can tell you who the very first person will be anytime I sign up, offer a program. Her name is Susan. She is always the first one. I can tell you who the first 10 people will be, because at least 10 to 15, depending on the season, because I have a core group of people who come back time and time again. I can tell you who the last person will be, because she always slides in at the very last minute. Her name is Kelly. She used to be a volunteer at an organization I worked for. So it's been really fascinating to sort of see how this goes, to see how people really are engaged, how they really want the program. And now that health coaches have been asking me, health and wellness coaches have been asking me to do this program for them, I'm able to share it. So, which is exciting and fun. And we'll talk a little bit about, like, you guys, I know that I'm sitting here saying, like, yes, it worked. It was so amazing. But we'll also talk a little bit, if it would be helpful, about some of the coaches who have done this work with me, so that you can see other people who actually were able to be successful. So for those of you who are on the webinar, I just want to make sure you also have the sign up link, because I know a couple of you have emailed me saying you were going to be here live today and then you were going to sign up for Detox Done at the end of the class. So I just want to make sure you have the link handy. You can sign up for Detox Done at detoxdone.com. So that's the whole package. So, and we'll walk through what you get in the package. But because there were so many questions I just sent in and people are posting questions, I want to get to those first. So why don't I get to some of the most commonly asked questions, and then we'll get to the questions that people are asking. So one of the most common questions I get is, should I sign up if I'm just starting out? And for those of you who are here live, if you're willing to share, I'm really curious about where you are in your business. If you don't mind posting and saying, like, yes, I'm still in school, I'm just starting out, or, a lot. So what I hear from a lot of people is, I'm just starting out, I'm still in school, or I hear I graduated school a few years ago and I didn't do anything with it. So for those of you who are like, I don't know, I don't have an established business, I hear you. And offering a program like this can really help you establish your business. It becomes a huge tool for marketing to people, for engaging your clients, for getting great testimonials. These are all things that really make a difference when you are starting your business, starting to get people involved, and starting to talk about what it is you do. So should you sign up if you're just starting out, or if you're still in nutrition school? That depends. So here's my answer to that. There is no reason not to sign up. So I want to be clear about that. It's not like there's any rule that says that you can't sign up just because you're still in nutrition school. When I went to IIN, I went when it was still live, and I would fly to New York City, which was, in hindsight, was kind of crazy, because between January and July 2009, I had to spend 3 full weekends, long weekends in New York. So I flew 10 times in that date range, and it got kind of, I'm just glad I didn't have a child then, because I don't think I could have done it with a little kid. But when we were there, they would tell us about people who had already earned their investment back of the program. And I was like, how did these people do this? Because I didn't know how to do it. But what happened was, the people who were already earning their money back from their enrollment fees, they were the ones going out getting clients. And in hindsight, I really wish I had done a better job of that. I really wish I had done a better job of building my network, of starting to see clients, of starting to offer programs, of even asking people, like, would you even be interested in a detox? Have you ever thought about cleansing? Is it something that interests you? Are you scared of cleansing? Like, anything like that, I think, can be a really great conversation starter with people. So this is a long way of me saying, yes, I think you can sign up if you're still in school. It's definitely a tool that you can use to talk to people, to get working with them on a lower level price point. So instead of having them work with you at this higher level coaching program, which can be, let's face it, that can be a harder sell. I think it's a great way to build your network in addition to serving your clients in a really solid way. So yes, you can sign up if you're starting out, if you're still in nutrition school, and it's also a totally personal decision. Now, another question that I'm getting really consistently is, what if I have a small network and I have no website? So that's kind of similar to if you're just starting out. And I have to tell you, I have seen both me, so my website was nothing special. It was just an IIN website when I first started out. I did not have a fancy sales process. I did have a list. I had a list of about, between 400 and 500 people, which isn't a huge list, but they were people who were at that point ready to buy from me. So that's, I think, part of why I had such a solid success of 37 the first time, because I already had some people who were interested. Now, that said, I want you guys to be aware that the people who bought from me were not strangers. They were, for the most part, people I already knew. So what that means is, even if you don't have a fancy website, even if you don't have a list, even if you don't have a newsletter with, 1,000 subscribers on it, the best way to get your business started, whether you're going to use Detox Done or some other program, is to make the ask. And I think that that's where people get stuck. You really have to go out and be willing to say, hey, I'm offering this detox program, this private coaching, this grocery store tour, this in-home pantry clean out, whatever it is that you're offering, and go to people and say, are you interested? Or do you know anyone who's interested? So even though I had a list and a newsletter, it was people primarily who already knew me who signed up. And the reason that I'm telling you that is so that you know that even if you think you have no list, no network, no website, you actually have more people who you can invite to work with you than you think you do. I will bet that your network, your personal network through your friends, your acquaintances, any schools you've gone to, any work you've done, I would bet it's bigger than you think it is. Through your church, through your alumni groups, there's lots of options that people don't look at. So I think that actually, if you have a small network and no website, this is a great way to get people engaged and to start building your credibility as a coach. I actually have a number of people who've done this program who didn't really have anything, and they've even seen success. Now, were they the people who signed 50 clients the first time? They were not. So I don't want you to be here thinking like, oh my gosh, Julia's a miracle worker and this program is going to solve all of my problems. It's going to solve a lot of your problems, and it's going to teach you the marketing side, which I think is actually a piece that I don't talk about enough. In addition to getting the program, you're also going to learn how to market, learn how to invite people to work with you. Because even if you have like the world's best website, if no one's going to it, it doesn't matter. So part of what Detox Done teaches you to do is how do you go out and ask people to work with you? And for those of you who are live, if you're willing to share, how your business is, I'm curious if that's like a block for you. I know for a lot of people that they are really curious about this piece of it, because I think we get led to believe that if we build it, they will come. And the truth is, yes, we have to build it and some will come, but to have a truly successful business, we also have to master the business side and the sales. And I think that's really hard for most people. But this program absolutely teaches you how to do this kind of work, which I think is really helpful. Okay, so let me just check the chat. I can see some questions are coming in. So let's connect with people here. Okay, so Victoria asked the very first question, which was a great question. She said, can you explain the benefits of the actual program, the cleanse? So not Detox Done, but the work that people will do. So this is really targeted to be a cleanse for beginners. I often called it the 5-day detox for beginners. And the reason I did that was because I wanted people to be open to trying it. So I worked with people who were like really beginners at getting healthy. So they're the people who are regularly drinking, like Diet Coke and different sodas, and who eat sugar every day. And for those of us who are health coaches, we're like, what, do people still do that? But they do. That's like most people still do that. Most people don't eat the way we do. Most people don't look at their health the way we do. So I wanted this program to be very accessible. So what they get in the program is They get a menu plan. And the reason that I'm even mentioning that, because I know, Victoria, you were saying, like, explain the benefits. Well, some people, one of the benefits that's unexpected is people end up trying food they've never had before, and they discover that they, like, love artichokes or something else. You know, they end up finding that they're willing to eat more foods than they thought they were. Another benefit is that they are able to cook. Like, they learn that cooking doesn't have to be so hard. I even had one client tell me once, and I thought this was actually, to be totally honest, quite amazing. She emailed me after the cleanse and she was like, I cooked, because I asked you to cook your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner all the meals for 5 days, which is 15 meals in a row. She had never cooked before. She was like, oh, thank you so much. This program totally taught me how to cook. I was like, are you serious? You've never even boiled water before? She's like, literally, she hadn't. So, I mean, the benefits are really varied. Most people, what we do is we cut out gluten, dairy, sugar, red meat. So we leave a little bit of animal protein in. If you are vegan, you can totally change that. You know, everything, all the materials are totally adjustable. But the reason I did that was I found that most people needed something familiar to try something new. So they would try kale if it was paired with something familiar. So that, for me, has helped me get my clients to make more change over the long run. But the benefits that people have seen, and I'm going to show you what I have on the Detox Done sales page so you can just see what people have said there. But they have lost weight. They have had whiter teeth. They have slept better. I was talking to somebody this morning about this program, and I've had more than one person lose over 13 pounds in 5 days, which I just think is crazy. But I think it's because, one, they were probably holding on to a lot of water because they had way too much salt in their food. Two, they probably never had a proper bowel movement. People say to me, like, my digestion is amazing. I can't believe all the stuff that's coming out of me. And as funny as that sounds, like, that for us as coaches is really important. We want to know that people are eliminating correctly. I've had people tell me I haven't slept that well in years. I've had people tell me that it feels like that it's better than an espresso. Like, their energy is so great, it's better than an espresso. So let me pop over here and show you this, because I think this would be helpful. And I know I'm forgetting something. But I think the benefits people get are tangible. So we have those tangible benefits of all these amazing things that people did. So these, if you're on this site too, they're at the way bottom. So Summer has done it a bunch of times. She loved the food, and by the end of the week, her jeans were falling off. Brenda was 5 pounds lighter. I mean, you guys, I didn't ask people for these testimonials. They just posted these in our groups, these magical testimonials that were totally perfect. 5 pounds lighter and no muffin top when I put on my skinny jeans. I woke up the last day with more energy than I knew what to do with. Jennifer said, this detox rocks. An easy to follow format and super delicious foods made me feel healthy and smart. Shanna said, my energy level is extraordinary, better than any espresso. Susan said, I woke up today without that horrible exhausted feeling. I weighed myself this morning and I'm down 6 pounds. So there are those tangible benefits of people lost weight. They felt better. They were amazed that they could give up dairy, gluten, and sugar for 5 days. They couldn't believe they could give up caffeine. So there's all those kinds of things. And what I found, and what was really meaningful to me, was that over time, people started to look at this program as like a reset. And so the reason that that's important was that they were starting to realize, like, oh, now that I've done this detox, I see how good I can feel. How often can I feel that good? So, like, what are the changes I can make in my life long term that allow me to feel this good more than just during this 5 days? So that, for me personally, is huge, and is one of the reasons why I believe in this program so much, because now people will contact me and they'll say, like, man, I really feel like I need a reset. When's the next time you're offering this? So to have people who before weren't even thinking about their health now coming to me and asking, that's a huge benefit, because they're paying way more attention to their body, what food does for them, how it can help them, how it can hurt them. It was pretty amazing. So I could go on and on, because I have had literally over 1,000 people do it, and that means like 1,000 individual people. So some of these people have done it more than once, and it's been incredible. I feel like the number of people who come back, and the people who are offering the detox, like the health coaches who have signed up for Detox Done, they are coming and saying, like, oh my gosh, people are asking me for this again. They're signing up for it again. It's a great way for people to feel really good about their health and about the effort they're making, and then also get some good feedback through, you know, not having bloating, sleeping better, thinking better, having this energy, that kind of stuff. And then, you know, I'll also say, Victoria, it's kind of a long answer to your question, but I feel like the benefits are so widespread. The other thing that this gives people is a win. And so let me explain what I mean by that. So if you're someone who's been trying to lose the same 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds for the last 5 years and nothing works, losing that weight feels impossible and you feel pretty bad about yourself. And I'm sure some of you can relate to that. So this program ends up giving people a fast win, a way that they know they can be successful, a way that they know that they can have their body shift, their feelings shift, their energy shift. And I feel like giving people that quick win, that opportunity for success is so important. Because think about in our communities and in our culture, we don't talk about wins. We talk about how hard everything is and how busy we are and how stressed we are. So like, what a cool shift for people to not only look better, feel better, get clearer skin, all those awesome, their pants fit better, they did lose some weight. They also are like, holy crap, I can do this. Like they have this moment of, oh, this is possible. And that, it's a little cheesy that that's so important to me, but it is so important to me because I just don't think we get that in our culture very often. So I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, feel free to pop into the chat again. Okay. So Sandy says, how long will we have access to your program? The program, you'll always have access to the materials. As long as I'm running the program actively and live, you'll have access to interactions with me like this, but the materials are yours forever. So like it's a one-time license, which is not all licensing programs work like that. So, but it is a one-time purchase. I hope that answers your question, Sandy, if it doesn't. Okay, so Ruth says, no formal training in nutrition at this point. I'm a cancer coach looking at prevention for those with cancer in the family, those in treatment, and those who are in remission. Okay, so this program is not specifically targeted towards healing. As health coaches, we have to be careful about our scope of practice. And I know, Ruth, you're not a coach of any kind, which is totally fine. I look at this program as a jumpstart to get people eating better. So if you have someone who you know, like they want to do it, but they need, because like think about, if eating healthier were easy, we would just all do it. It's not like we don't know, right? Like we all know we should eat more vegetables, drink more water. We shouldn't probably have that third glass of wine or fifth cookie or whatever the thing is that we know, right? Sometimes we need a program that has structure to tell us what to do. And that I feel like is why this program or a program is really helpful for people, because sometimes they need a start date, an end date. They need the rules of what to do. And they, for sure, for me, like I like to have a community. I find that my groups do really well because of the community aspect. So for you, you know, I mean, if you're looking at this, does it help people eat healthier? Yes. Is it a good kickstart? Yes. Will it cure cancer? No. You know, I mean, it's not something could be used in that way. But if what you're looking for is something to help people make a change and feel good about making a change and have it be done in a way that has some structure and is supported, then it could be a good fit for you. And Ruth, if you want to explain more, like if there's more that you're looking for specifically, I would be happy to answer that. And you know, you guys, the program is gluten, dairy, sugar-free, refined sugar-free, I should say, because there's a little bit of honey and a little bit of maple syrup. So if you're trying to get people to move to those kinds of eating styles, which for most of us, when we eat like that, we feel better. So it's sort of, in some ways, it's kind of the magic cure for everybody. Drinking more water, sleeping more, cutting out inflammatory foods, that can help. Okay. Okay, so Victoria was answering a question I asked earlier about where everybody's business is. She said, I graduated from IIN 2 years ago. I started a business, and then she got stuck not knowing what to do next. Victoria, I totally had that too. I had a day where I literally was sitting in my home office. I was staring at my laptop, and I was like, I just actually don't know what to do next. Like, I've written my newsletter, and I've called all the people, and like, what do I do? I really didn't know. And I remember thinking in that day, I'm not going to make this work. And I felt so horrified because everybody in my life was like, oh, you can do it. If anybody can run a business, it's you. And I wasn't. I was totally failing. So at that time, funnily enough, I was working with a different set of coaches, and one of our jobs, one of our challenges was to do a jumpstart program. They were like, just create something quick and easy and offer it to people. And I was like, oh, fine, I'm just going to do this detox. Let's see what happens. Thank goodness I did, because it completely changed my business. Like without it, I think I would have probably given up and gotten a job. But now I'm 8 years into it, and I don't think I could ever work for anybody again. So I'm way too far into the entrepreneurial world. So yeah, I totally relate. And here's the other thing I will say that some people have asked me. So I'm guessing, Victoria, you probably have a job on the side, right? Like you have a source of income. Or, if you don't, you might just be thinking like, how do I even start? If you have a job, or if you aren't able to do this full time, there are a lot of people who are actually running the Detox Done program on the side as like a side hustle. So you're able to do it as a side hustle. Or if you have children. So you guys, I have a husband who sometimes can be like a child. Let's not tell him I said that. I have a 3-year-old. I have a nonprofit I help to run. I have a family. I have friends. I like my own self-care. I have my clients. But this program has always been something that I can pull together. Anytime I was like, oh geez, I'm looking at my financial projections and I need a little bit of money. It's like consistently, even now, this many years later, I can throw it out there and I know I'll have 30 to 40 people sign up. And it's a great boost of cash, which for me is really nice. I think for most of it's really nice. And I don't want to pretend to you guys that it's not work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of follow-up. You have to go out and ask people. You have to follow up with people who said they were interested. But when it's done, it's done. It's like this nice little encapsulated thing where in 4 weeks you can invite people, run the program, do your follow-up, and then be done. And not have to always, like, I don't know how many of you can relate to like when you sit there and you're trying to work and you're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out because you're not sure what to do. At least with this program or a program like it, you know what to do. You have a model, you have a method, you have a blueprint to follow. Okay, let me grab a drink of water and then I'll see more questions coming in. All right. Okay, so Selena's asking a great question. She says, the price for the How to Run a Cleanse, which is actually the Detox Done program, is quite high. Given the cost of off-the-shelf juice cleanses, what's the added benefit of your program for us coaches? So first, I'm going to be super direct and say this is not an expensive program, not even a little bit. For all the expertise you get and the amount of money I've dumped into my business, this is actually not a huge investment, especially because it gets broken out potentially into 3 payments. So you can invest, if you sign up by Friday, which is the early bird date, it's $597 or 3 payments of $199. And then after that, it goes up to $797, and there's a 3 payment option there as well. And the reason I say it's not expensive is, one, I've looked at the marketplace and there are a lot of other programs that cost a lot more, like $1,000, $2,000. 2, the other reason I say it's not expensive is because of everything you're getting. The program is complete. So you can do some edits. You can do, of course I want you to brand it for yourself. So you can add your name, you can add it however, like whatever pieces you want to make it be, fit your style. But it's not a program where you're going to have to fix a lot of mistakes. You don't have to change the graphics. It's beautifully done. You really can buy it and just put it out. So with other programs that are less expensive, and I don't know all the programs, like there's no possible way for me to know the programs. I can only speak from programs I've purchased. I've gotten done for you programs, and then I look at them and I'm like, oh, I can't even use half this stuff. Like, I don't agree with that, or this is like so sloppy, I wouldn't put it out. And then you end up spending either time, which is an investment, or money hiring a VA to fix that stuff. So for me, I feel very confident in this pricing because I know you're getting a great product. I know people are getting amazing results from the product. I know I'm still on the lower end of what's available on the market. And then I'll also just say, like, one thing that's really, really different about this program is that you are going to get more support than you know what to do with. You can earn your money back on this program very quickly. So if you think about the model that I suggest, which is to charge people $77 for the early bird price and $97 for the full price, at $600, you just have to make 6 sales to earn your money back. So if you're willing to get out there and do it and ask for money and try the things I'm suggesting that you try, I think you're going to be really surprised at the results you can have. There is not one person in the group, or at least not one person who's come and told me this, But the people who are not getting results are not doing the work. The people who are getting results are doing this very basic work of making a list of who are you going to ask, asking them, and following up with them to make sure they pay. The other thing I'll say is you get support from me. So I have 8 years expertise. I'm very open. I think you guys can tell from the type of conversation I'm having now. I feel like it's really important for us to have an open conversation about how to make this work. I don't want to I'm not going to sell you like a magical unicorn. This is the total answer to your business. It's not, but it is actually a key piece, and it solves a couple of core problems. One is that it tells you what to do, because I think a lot of us, like Victoria was saying, and like I was saying, there are moments when you're like, I just actually don't know what to do with my time here. 2, it helps you find new clients. 3, it lets clients come and work with you at a price level that they feel comfortable investing in. What I didn't realize when I was first health coaching, because my health coach school was like, oh, well, you should just like invite people to private coaching and you should tell them about it and they'll be so excited and they'll sign up. And so some people did. But what I didn't realize was that there was this huge group of people who wanted to work with me, but not at that level. And that did not click in my brain until I offered a lower level program, which was my detox. Once I offered that, tons of people started working with me. They really just didn't want to do 12 weeks, 6 months, whatever of health coaching. They wanted a small, compact, easy to do program. So this solves that as well. And then, okay, and so I'm just checking, I'm looking at your question again to make sure I'm answering the question. So you're saying, given the cost of off-the-shelf juice cleanses, what's the added benefit of your program for us coaches? So I just want to be clear, this isn't a program for you as a coach to take it and you just do the cleanse and lose 5 pounds. Off-the-shelf juice cleanses don't give you any opportunity to earn your money back. You buy that juice cleanse, you're done. You can do that with your client. I mean, you can. And if you have the clients who are willing to do that, totally an option. But this program is repeatable. You get 4 seasons for the price for the one investment. So you get to do a full year of this, which is pretty cool. And I will just also say to you that this program does not just give you the detox materials. You get all the marketing advice. You get all the marketing tools. A lot of people have used this program as a template. So they run the detox program and then they use the model that I provide to create their next program. So you really are learning how to teach a class, how to run an online program. How do you do a webinar? How do you set up a Facebook account? How do you set up a Facebook group? How do you do a PayPal button? So there's a lot of pieces involved in here that are beyond just selling a juice cleanse or, shakes or whatever. And I'm not anti any of that stuff. I'm really not. You guys have to find what's right for your clients. But what I found is that most people, the average person, a juice cleanse is too hard. So this program meets them where they are. It provides them a chance to have a great success, which makes you as the coach look really good because people will attribute their success to you. And when they do that, then they start talking about how great you are. And then you start to get natural referrals. And then I'll also say, because your question was about like what's the added benefit, there's 2 new pieces that are really cool. And it's actually 2 new people. So one of them is Melanie Connolly. She's coming on board as our detox specialist. She's going to be in our Facebook group, which is frankly like one of the best groups I've ever seen on Facebook ever. And it's not because of me, it's because of the other coaches in it. Everyone in there is so supportive, so helpful. I see Lori Kearney's on the line. Lori is gets the Spirit Award for being the best cheerleader of anybody ever in that group. She's there. She had a huge success with her Detox Done program, and she's there helping everybody else get there with her. So there's a community there that is so meaningful. You don't get that from a juice cleanse. And then let me go back to Melanie. So Melanie has this amazing resume of all these classes she's taken. She's taken advanced functional nutrition courses. She co-teaches with some really high-level people. I won't name drop Melanie, but you can name drop if you want. But like the people who you see who are the famous people, like Melanie works with that level of people. And she's going to be regularly teaching classes on how your body detoxes. So you're going to be getting this additional education, this ongoing education. We're going to do a Detox 101 class. We're probably going to do a class on supplements and why do they even matter. So we want to fill in the holes of your education. So I know that when I graduated nutrition school, I had to learn more about detox before I could offer it, or before I could offer it more deeply than what I'm suggesting you do through Detox Done. The other one is Jill Bucher, who is in Berlin, and she is fantastic because she's coming on as a tech support person. So when you're, trying to set your sales page and the PayPal button just isn't freaking working and you want to like bang your head against the wall, what's so cool is that you're able to go into the Facebook group and just tag Jill and say, hey, here's what's happening. Can you help me out? And she'll be there. So I don't know of other programs that do that. I think that's an additional support. Both of those pieces are really important to me because one, I want to make sure you feel really confident offering this program. So Melanie is going to be able to help us do that by teaching all of the pieces around detoxing and how the body does it and why we even do it and why do we take this supplement. So no matter what question you get asked, you'll either learn the answer in our Detox 101 classes or you can tag Melanie. And then on the other side, Jill's going to be there. So like when you're like, MailChimp is not working or whatever is not working, you'll have that person who can help you. And that is huge because too many coaches quit there because the technology is hard. I'm not going to pretend it's not. And the bigger you get, that you have to change your technology. Like I have definitely had some technology challenges during this launch we're having right now. It happens. And if you have somebody who can be there to support you, it makes all the difference. And even if we didn't have those two people who are fantastic, I would just totally say that the group is so helpful and they're able, the amount of support you guys get there is really remarkable. And so to be clear, that's the Facebook group that you get to join after you sign up for Detox Done. It's for members only. We do really fun stuff in there. Sometimes we do these mock detoxes where we're like, let's all just do the spring program together. It's really fun. And it's really nice to be able to say that about my work. Like this work is fun. So Jill is saying for what's included in the program, it honestly is a steal. Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point, but I've had everybody in my circle who is like my mentor thinks this program is extremely underpriced. They really want me to charge at least $1,000. And I don't want to do that. I want to make it so that you guys can do it. You guys can make your money back and then you can start earning an income. And am I shooting myself in the foot a little? I don't know, but I just want this to be accessible. I want you guys to be successful. I believe in health coaching. I think it is totally valuable. I think it's something that's going to change the face of not just the nation, but the world. And our obesity crisis, our diabetes crises, like we can't ignore that. We have to be part of that solution. Okay. So let me just read through. I hope that answered your question, Selena. I think it way over answered it, but I hope it answered it. So Ruth is saying she's aware it would not cure cancer, sure. And she's just looking for guidelines for healthy living. Yeah, so this program is a great jumpstart for people. So if you hear people who are like, oh, I want to get healthier, but whatever. It's like, hey, just do this for 5 days. Anybody can do anything for 5 days. You guys can totally do it. I find that it's really easy to get people to sign up. And then Jill says, yes, she agrees. Lori rocks because she does. And then Melanie says, we're so excited about these classes. We have a big job to do, us as health coaches, and we will only get it done by supporting each other. So yeah, that's another thing that if you guys don't know me well, one of the things I really believe is that we have to work together as colleagues and not competitors. So we need to have these conversations. We need to support each other. I think this is what's so great about that group and about the people in this group is that everybody sort of was like, oh yeah, we do need to do this work together because none of us can do it alone. This work is isolating. It's great to have a community to turn to, and it's just really nice to be able to connect with people. So let me just share this screen again so that you guys can see a little bit more. So let me go, just close your eyes if you get dizzy. All right, so this is I just want to show you this page because I want to talk to you about some of these coaches. So Peggy she comes from a military background. She's retired. She's new to coaching. This is totally brand new for her. She came in and the first time she offered the Detox Done, she had 22 participants. 22 people the first time. So that's pretty significant. And if you guys are thinking about money, let me do the math really quick. So what she did is that she, I think she did my model and I don't remember her exact number. So let's say that if she had all 22 sign up at the early bird pricing that I recommend, which is $77, she still made $1,700 on one program first time. Pretty good, right? Then Lori had a similar experience. Lori had not tried to make money as a health coach yet. She was really worried about it, but just having the program, knowing and she was really active in our group, which was cool because she could just post and say like, I'm freaking out about this. This is making me stressed out, and everybody was there to support her. Okay, so Lauren is a little different. She had more of an established practice, but she also has 2 children under the age of 4, and she's the primary parent. So for any of you who have ever had young kids or who currently have young children, like I've said, I have a 3-year-old. There are just like times when it's like, oh my gosh, I have to work in the windows of time that I have. And it can be really hard to schedule clients sometimes when you are trying to juggle your family life, or if your kid gets sick. Please tell me I'm not the only one, guys. Like, I know that when my son's sick, like sometimes I have to cancel my stuff. But what's really nice is that if you're doing a detox like this, most of the work you're doing is over email and in a Facebook group. Most of it's online once you've enrolled people. And even the enrolling, you can do a lot of that work online. So I really believe that I really think, frankly, it's totally worth it to try something like this if you have small kids, because you can work in those small pockets of times that you have. And then she had 21 participants. Marla had a great experience. She was super fun. She's super fun and super excited for her next one. She says the recipes were easy to prepare. They were delicious. And they are. I mean, you guys, one of the things so when I would do cleanses, I am a health dork, and I live in Portland, Oregon. So like, already both of those things make me weird, and we have really great access to health foods here. We have a lot of healthy health food stores. But I remember sometimes getting a cleanse and I'd get like the recipes and the ingredients, and I would go to like 6 stores to get it all. And I was like exhausted. And then am I the only one who's ever gone grocery shopping? And then at the end, I'm like so tired that I don't want to cook. I just want to eat out. So I was like at the end of these being like, I'm completely defeating the purpose of my detox because I don't even want to do this now because I'm so mad that I couldn't find these ingredients. So the ingredients that I include, and I'll walk you guys through that. Let me make a note to make sure I don't forget that. And I just posted that in our Facebook group in my free Facebook group, Health Coach Uprising. I posted some recipes you could see there. I really believe in having the recipes be accessible. So I want people to not have to, if they have a family, I don't want them to have to cook a bunch of different things, one for them, one for their family. I know not every family eats super, super healthy, but I found that these recipes are really kid friendly. A lot of kids will at least try them, and a lot of them find out that they like them. Yeah, and so Diane has run the detox 3 times. She's about to run it her 4th time. She gets does a great job with her clients. She is so funny because she has such a solid, she's doing the things that the program suggests. So she, for example, had a group of people. She asked 10 people in the way that I suggested that she asked them. 9 signed up. So that's a 90% conversion rate. So again, she's one who doesn't have the huge numbers. She's at the beginning of her business, but her conversion rates are great, which we don't think about always when we're first starting our business, but having that many people sign up is really cool. So a couple of you have asked me, like, what's the price difference between the full price and the early bird? The early bird ends on Friday, March 24th. That's this Friday. It ends at midnight Pacific, and you'll save $200 when you sign up by that time. So it's going to go up to $797 after that. You're still welcome to join us after that, but if you want to make sure you get in by that time, totally fine. Okay, oops. So here's Lori's in the middle. Let's go to her since she's on the call. She said, ready, set, go. I have a group of 48 for her detox. It's crazy what she's doing in her business versus 2 months ago. She feels like she's on fire. And it started with getting the confidence of your program, which is so incredible. I'm so happy for Lori. And I also have to say she has worked her tail off. She is out there. She's engaging people. She's inviting people. She has done so much to make her business work. So she's a great example and role model for people. And I love having her in the group. And then Chris is a great example too, because she's a super picky eater. So like, I don't know how many of you are picky eaters or who are worried about clients who are picky eaters, but Chris, she's really picky. So she says, I love the Detox Done program. It allowed me to jumpstart my coaching business and finally start growing my community of potential clients and customers. She says, one of my favorite parts of the program is the food list. I'm a very picky eater, and with the food list, I was able to detox just by choosing the foods I liked from the list. It was so easy. So she didn't even have to, and Chris is an expert at weight loss. She's lost over 80 pounds and kept it off for, I can't remember the exact number of years, but many years, and I don't want to make a mistake. So she, like, food is huge for her. She has spent a lot of time working with food to have this significant weight loss. So it's really cool that she can do this with her clients. She can say, like, listen, I'm a picky eater. Here are these options. You can use the recipes, or you can just eat chicken and broccoli every day, and that's fine. And then Sarah's a great example too, because she thought about running a detox for a long time, but she has 2 kids. She also, her sister has twin newborns or had twin newborns. They're a little older now, and Sarah was helping her sister. She also has classes she teaches. She has all kinds of stuff going on. So she wasn't in a position to create it all from scratch. So what she really liked about this program is that she could buy it. She could customize it wherever she needed to. She could make the changes that were necessary for it to fit. But she has had so much fun running her group. She says it's fun and rewarding, both because I'm helping clients feel better, but also because I'm generating consistent income. This program has already more than paid for itself, and the support from Julia is top notch. And I know that she more than paid for the program the first time she ran it. So that was really cool for her. And I will say too, you guys, Sarah's target market is moms. She works a lot around raising healthy eaters, and she's really great at that. And she wasn't convinced that her moms would want to do it. She wasn't convinced the moms would be interested in doing the detox. And so I said, well, just, send an email and see what they say. And it ended up being an email that was like one of her most opened emails ever. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm blown away by the response. I obviously have to run this. So she had a great response. And this just gives you some ideas of like what the documents look like. So they're beautifully designed. These are the covers. So your handbook, your recipes, and your shopping list, they all have this kind of a cover. They look really beautiful. They look professional. I will tell you guys, when I first offered my program, it did not look this good because I couldn't figure out how to do it. I couldn't pay somebody to do it for me. So what's nice is that you get these materials that are done, that are beautiful, that aren't, you don't have to worry about doing this part because it's been done for you. Okay, let me just check. Oh, and then Maria's a great one too because she has so much education. She's tons of training in functional nutrition. She had this longer, more complicated detox she was offering to people that she had a harder time selling. And then she found when she offered the 5-day program, all of a sudden she tripled her signups. She'd been offering a detox, so like literally to the same people. She'd been offering a 21-day cleanse and they were like, no, I'm not sure. She offered the 5-day program, tripled her signups. She loves that everything's done for her, and her clients have been getting great results. And then over time, those clients start to become your private clients, which is really cool. Okay, so let me just go ahead and stop this share again, and let me check on the questions. And I have to take another drink of water. All right. Okay, so Victoria's asking a great question. So she says, does this program explain how to add foods back into your diet? Yes. So yes, and. So I'm a big fan of saying yes, and when and I'm pulling up the downloads page so you guys can see it. Give me just a second. It's probably going to ask me for my password and I'm going to forget. Oh, no, it didn't. I was like, oh God, I'm going to have this awkward moment of I don't remember my password. So yes, it does. So I actually, and I think it might be helpful for you guys to see this, and I appreciate all the really great questions. Okay, so this is the downloads page. So when you sign up, this is what you get. You'll be in this page. You get a how to run your own detox training call. That's a live call with me where I'll talk about everything in depth about what, like all my recommended strategies. You get to ask me like, well, what if my great aunt Margaret hates whatever? We'll figure out a way to deal with that thing. And then you get this whole section on how to use these materials. And Victoria, I haven't forgotten your question. I'm just going to go through this stuff and then we'll get to your question. So how to use these materials. So right now there's an older video. So some of you have asked me like, could I get started like yesterday if I sign up? Yes. So you don't have to wait until that April 5th call. There's already a training guide and video here. You don't have to do anything. Like you can just jump in there. There's also this technical troubleshooting guide. We noticed that people were having the same kinds of questions over and over about like, how do I get my MailChimp email is doing this weird thing. What do I do about it? So those are the kinds of questions we have answered for you here. So anything technical related. And then don't forget, you guys, you have Jill as a support person too. So then you get all this info for the pre-detox phase. So this is also known as your launch phase. So you want to spend about at least 2 weeks marketing. I have this great 2-week launch calendar that works really well, especially if you're like totally feel intimidated, not sure what to do. This walks you through everything. There's also something I recommend people do called the warm leads list. I feel really strongly that the warm leads list is a piece that will drive your business better than almost anything. So this is basically how you track who's interested so that you can follow up with them. I know that there's a lot of marketing out there that's like, oh, 6 figures in 6 minutes if you do this one weird trick, right? And so there's all this like clickbait that wants you to believe that you can just do one magical thing and it'll change your whole business. So the magical thing, in my opinion, is follow-up. So like, you really have to know, who are you talking to, and did you ask them enough times? That for me is a huge piece of this, whether you buy this program or not. As a coach, you have to track, who did you talk to? What did you talk about? Did you contact them recently? So you want to make sure you follow up with people and invite them again and again until they basically say either yes or they're not interested. And I know that like scares people, but I mean, Sarah, her example that I shared with you, she didn't work with me for like 3 years. She found out about me like 3 years ago and then just sort of watched me for 3 years and then finally reached out to me. She's like, are you offering any private coaching? Like, how can I work with you? So I just share that because, is everybody like that? No. But there are people who do, like, it takes them some time to get to know you and they need those interactions. Now, that's for like a bigger program. For this program, you can certainly get people enrolled in 2 weeks. So I took a break. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but in 2013, I took a sabbatical, stopped my business, stopped being active in my business. I actually had a series of emails sent and a support person here back in the US at that time, where I was able to travel through Southern Africa for 3 months. My husband and I camped through 5 countries. I'm getting my numbers all mixed up. We had these amazing experiences, and I made money because I had all this marketing set up to go, these programs to offer, including these detoxes. So the reason I tell you that is I put a pause on my business, and then I came back and people asked me for the detox, and I was like, oh, fine, let's see. Sent it. I basically ignored my list of clients for like almost a year. I sent out like 2 emails saying, hey guys, are you still interested in the detox? And following this 2-week launch calendar, I enrolled like 35 people, something like that, between 30 and 40 people in 2 weeks to do the program. So I just feel like there's so much value here. Okay, you also get a sample sales page. You get social media images. So these are all the things you need for marketing and enrolling people. Marketing emails. So like all of the emails you're going to send that say like, here's what you'll get. Here's what to know. Here's a sample recipe. Here's all this stuff that you need to market. Here. Emails to send when clients enroll. So like, what do you do when someone signs up? Here's what you do. And then if you have a more advanced business, you can do some list building webinars. The first time you run this, I recommend you don't do this because I think it gets a little overwhelming, all the moving pieces. But if you have an advanced business, if you've done it a couple times, so here's another reason why I think this program is really valuable and is actually underpriced, is you can do this over and over again, and there is room to grow. So as your business grows, you have these opportunities to market in a bigger way, and you're getting all that as part of this. So like, let's say you market this for a year, and then you're like, okay, I think I've got this under my belt. Well, I actually have a way for you to get even bigger, which is great. Running the detox, you get all the protocols, you get handbooks, recipes, shopping lists, graphic files. So if you don't like the way that your cover books look, you get the images, so you can change that. You can make it be branded with your name, that's fine. You also get this kickoff call script, which is really cool because when people sign up, they are going to say, what do I do? And so you get to have a phone call with them, and I've written this all out for you, to tell them how to have the most success in the program, to answer their most common questions, those kinds of things. And then you have these support pieces, both the daily Facebook group posts and the daily emails. I feel really strongly that it's important to support people through the process. You can also do this thing called pacing. If you can anticipate what's going to happen for them, they're going to credit you with being like the best detox genius ever. So these do that pacing in them where they say like, today you probably feel great. Today you might not feel so great. And it's just a nice way to stay in touch with people and keep them supported. And then we also noticed, this is a new document too, we noticed that people's clients were asking a series of similar questions, like why no caffeine, why no peanuts, why can I chew gum, can I have Advil? So we created this detox client FAQ where it has a lot of answers to the most commonly asked questions. So if you're like, actually, I don't know why we don't take Advil on this cleanse, the answer is here for you, which is really cool. Then you get these additional handouts, which are really nice. You get these bonus handouts that you give to your clients that you don't have to give these at all, but you can. They include things like an eating out guide, deepening your detox guide, supplement guide, all kinds of stuff there, smoothie and green juice recipes. Okay, Victoria, your question. Post-detox phase, do we tell them what to do next? Yes, we do, in 2 ways. One, we do these post-detox follow-up strategies where we stay connected with people over time. So this is going to help you build your business for the long haul. And I know your question is, how do your clients transition out of the detox? But this is actually part of it. You want to engage them in a way so that they don't go back, like they don't on Saturday morning. If they go from Monday to Friday, they don't on Saturday morning go out to like McDonald's and get an Egg McMuffin and hash browns and something disgusting. So this is part of it. So that's there. You also have these post-detox follow-up emails, which actually walks them through, here's what I suggest you do. Here's how to exit the detox. You know, try to not add everything back at once. Pay attention to your body. It's a series of emails that addresses that. And then there's the end of detox call script. This is great because I really encourage you to do this because people get to hear your voice or they get to see you if you're doing it via Zoom. I think that can help people decide if they like your style, if they trust you, which is always a good thing. But with this end of detox call script, you get to have you get to walk them through like, here's what to expect. Here's how to go off the detox. And we talk about first, let's celebrate. Second, let's talk about if you can keep going like this. Yes, you can. Third, let's talk about the supplements. Which ones should you keep taking at what dosages? Fourth, like, what do you do now? How do you even go back into the real world? So this is all addressed in these documents. And then you guys also get these really cool bonuses. You get these food photos. I don't know if you guys have noticed that like stock photos of food are either terrible or really expensive or not quite right. Like I keep seeing the ones of like a bowl of granola with like sugar and dairy on top. And I'm always like, dang it, that doesn't work. So we have these food photos. I hired a food photographer to do these. They are some just like images of just food and then some images of the actual recipes for you to use in your marketing. And then we did this legal tips for detox done with Lisa Fraley, where she just talked about like, how do you do this to make sure you're doing it safely? How do you protect yourself? How do you protect your clients? And then, you know, too many health coaches get stuck on not being able to do the technology, which is why we have these technology tips and videos here. And then we also have Jill coming on to be your support person. So that's what you actually get. This is the inside of the program. I'm sure some of you guys wanted to see that. And I think, Victoria, that answered your question, but if it didn't, you're more than welcome to post and say, that's not what I was asking. Oh, so Lori posted, how fun. So Lori said, I'm multitasking right now and I'm under a deadline, but I wanted to quickly chime in. I felt that Detox Done launched my business and I made my money back right away. Best investment I have made in my business and I would highly recommend. I was getting stuck on IT and Jill, Julia, and others helped me keep moving forward. Yes, I have. Now focusing on life balance since I am so busy with my business. Yeah, so like, isn't that, and Lori bought this program in end of November. So November, December, January, February, March. So like 3 months-ish because we started the program in early December. Her business has completely exploded and she gets tons of credit for that because she has worked her tail off. So Ruth is saying, so can you run the detox several times in a season? You can, and I'm not convinced it's always the right thing to do. Because what I found in my business is that so the first time I offered my detox, the first time ever, got 37 people. And I was like, sweet, people totally want this. So then I offered it again and 40 people enrolled. And I was like, oh, this is like amazing. And then I offered it again and nobody enrolled. Because what happened was I had solved what's called the pent-up demand. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that term, but when you think of your business, like there's always a place where there's pent-up demand. So what that means is there's people who want something you haven't delivered yet, whether or not they know you want it. So the reason I had such a great success was that I had offered and you guys, please tell me I'm not the only one, but I had offered private coaching to everyone approximately 10,000 times. And people were like, no, I still don't want that. I was like, dang it. But then when I offered the detox, all the people who knew they wanted something, but it just wasn't the private coaching, then they all flowed through that. So the reason that I recommend that you do it once a season is that it's easier for you because it is exhausting to juggle the groups. People don't realize how hard it is to manage to just kind of hold the space for all the people. It's really a lot of work energetically. And I know that's a little woo-woo, but it's just really true. The other reason is you tell people, like it tells people that they have to make a decision. So when I offered my detox that was available kind of all the time, people would be like, they would find any reason not to do it. So they would look at their calendar and they'd be like, oh, I think I have to take the dog to the vet that week. I definitely can't detox that week. So people were trying to find like a totally clear week, which is just, for most of us, not reasonable. So when you offer it in a specific window of time, they're either a yes or a no. They aren't stuck in that land of maybe or next time. Someday is not a day of the week. So if your clients tell you they want to sign up someday, usually those people don't ever sign up. So I found that as I made it be like, I made that mistake. And then I found as I was really just like, nope, it's this week to this week and you're either in or you're out. People started moving like mountains to make it into that program because they knew it worked. So I hope that answers your question. So then Laura's asking, regarding technical help, will you have help with landing pages or how to use an email system? So then Jill replied, hey, Laura, I'm here to help you with problems you might encounter around landing pages and email systems and such. So yeah, and so Jill's going to help with that. Like if you're doing creating your own landing page, she will help you with those kinds of mistakes. But she also is available for hire outside of the program at really reasonable rates. So if you just want to hand it off to her and you just want to say, here, you do this for me, she has done a number of people, which was, again, so funny, you guys. Like, this was never our plan in the beginning, and that's totally separate from this program. It's something where she approached me and she said, people are asking, how do you feel about this? And I thought, oh, this is actually a great resource. Somebody who's in the program, who gets health coaching, who knows how to do this work. So she's been doing that for people, and it's been really nice because she does super fast turnaround, and she's also very, very reasonably priced. And then Helga's saying, hi, Julia. I'm sorry if you already answered this question. Hi, Helga. She had to be late. No problem. What kind of food do you have in the cleanses? Do people need a juicer? This is the perfect transition. People do not need a juicer. They can choose to juice if they want to, but like I really don't like cleaning my juicer. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I always feel like it takes forever. So there are some smoothies that are available. There are also some juice recipes that are available, and people don't have to do that at all. It's totally optional. So again, this program is intended to be super accessible for people. So let me walk you through the spring program, because that's the next one coming up. Oh, and I'm going to the wrong place, guys. And if there are other questions, you feel free to post them, and then I'll finish up by going through the questions that people have sent in via email. Is this helping? I hope this is helpful. It's buried so far down in my files. Okay. So Helga says it's very helpful. Okay, good. So again, if you do not like any of these recipes, you can simply take them out or change them. Okay, we'll see you later, Ruth. She has a client arriving. Good for you. Nice to have a client coming. Okay. All right, so here's the recipe book. So again, beautiful cover. To be clear, you guys, you get this image as itself without this logo here, so you can change it if you want to. You get these suggested recipes. So we have this here. You can see that it's like real food, strawberry banana smoothie, protein pancakes, morning muesli. Because again, I want people to succeed. I don't want them to look at this and think, I won't eat any of that. Most people look at this and say, oh, this looks really good. This looks reasonable. And it's stuff that, again, can be bought at most grocery stores. There's also some alternative recipes: quinoa black bean salad, Indian style coconut curry. I will tell you this recipe. The Indian style coconut curry is my 3-year-old's like favorite meal ever. He could eat that every day if I would let him. And I would let him, except for I want to eat something different too. If people want to make their own menu, they can. And I actually recommend that people do, because this by itself is a lot of work and it's too much food. But I give a lot of recipes because I want people to see that they have choices. So we do some basics. We do these roasted vegetables, brown rice, quinoa, and then breakfast. So like the morning muesli, this one is so popular, and it's funny because it's basically just like raw oatmeal, but people love it. So it's rolled oats, it's nuts, coconut flakes, flax seeds, some fruit, and then some non-dairy milk like coconut, almond, hemp, etc. People really like that breakfast, and they just think it's like the best thing ever. And then we have these protein pancakes. I don't know if you guys have ever made these, a small banana, an egg, almond butter, those kinds of things. Okay, so this lunch is one that I like a lot, curried salmon salad. You can get canned or cooked salmon. It's a fennel bulb, celery, some Dijon mustard. You could also put, if you wanted, hummus in there. It's like basic stuff mixed together that tastes really good. Light, nutrient dense. People really like it. Okay, so chopped detox salad, different kinds of salads. So this dinner is one that I really like. It's chicken and asparagus with sun-dried tomatoes. It's one of my favorite ones. And it's something that we do, that I make at home, even when I'm not detoxing. Sorry, I'm just checking the chat as questions come in. So Victoria is saying, do we get one of these booklets for each client, or is it something we need to print out? So you actually get these files, so you can choose to print it, but I actually suggest that you just send it to people electronically, and we can help you figure out how to do that. There's lots of easy ways to do that, so that you're not stuck with the cost of printing all these, because it's a lot of, you can see that it's like, I don't know how, I have to move my little screen. This one is 29 pages, so you don't want to be printing 30 pages plus the handbook plus all the other stuff for all your clients. It's a lot. So this is simple roast salmon, cabbage and bok choy stir fry, ginger broiled fish, lots of different stuff. And if you look at these and you're like, geez, these don't work for my clients, you can pull recipes from the other seasons. There are recipes that other people in the group have shared. You can swap out your own recipes. If you don't want to have anything, a lot of these recipes have vegan alternatives, vegetarian alternatives. So if you're vegan, you can definitely swap these out. I've had vegans do my cleanse, and they always felt like there were plenty of choices for them. This is the recipe my son likes so much. And then, oh, and I also recommend people have a salad every day. Here's some salad dressings. This French vinaigrette, my husband really wants me to bottle it and sell it. This apple curry dressing is my personal favorite. I could like put this on everything and I'd be so happy forever. Avocado dressing, cilantro lime dressing. So you guys can see there's so many options here, and the foods are meant to be satisfying. They're meant to taste good. They're great choices for people. There's even sweet treats. So because there are some people who are like, I can't survive without my chocolate. Okay, fine. Let's make sure it's healthy chocolate. So we give them these options to do things in a different way. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh, and I'll just show you, like, this is on the back of all the documents. There's a disclaimer here that just says, like, this is there to protect you. This information is provided for educational and informational purposes. It says you're not a doctor. You're not trying to heal or diagnose or cure or anything like that. You can put your logo here. So, like, we've really taken care of everything here. This program is really intended to be a whole and complete program for you. All right, so I think I can stop the share. My throat is getting a little sore. My son brought home a cold from daycare, so I'm a little afraid that I'm going to get it. So Helga says, this is great. What are your most successful months for the 3 cleanses? So you get 4 cleanses, so you can do a winter, a spring, a summer, a fall. I actually have found in my business, so I recommend that people do it, do the ones that feel doable. You can do a full year's worth. I have actually found the ones that are most successful are spring and summer. When I would run fall, so like I would run a summer one and I'd get like 100 people enrolled, and then I'd do fall and I got 8. And I was like, okay, I don't think people want a fall one. Other people have had a ton of success in fall. So like for my clients, it really was just like this weird anomaly. But I find that very regularly that summer is a great time and spring's a great time. Some people have huge success in the new year, like as a first of the week cleanse, first week of the year cleanse. That can be really helpful. Totally up to you how you do that. So, all right. Okay, so Laura's asking, do you plan on developing other programs beyond Detox Done, i.e. meal planning or things you have found useful in your biz? Oh man, I would love to. I would love to develop more things. I had a meal planning program that I used to license to health coaches that people would purchase and they would give to their clients. And I know people do that. And the materials need some serious updating. So it's definitely on my calendar. The next thing I'm planning on offering will be, so you guys earlier I was talking about, there are these holes in education, these gaps in education that I want to make sure I'm helping to fill. So one of them is around how do you run a detox? And then I have Melanie coming in to teach like the actual detox stuff, the detox processes, Detox 101. But then the other piece that's missing for a lot of people is how do I actually run a business? And, earlier we were joking about like how I remember staring at my laptop and being like, I just actually don't know what I should do now. So that's something I really want to talk about with people because I think it's really important. So it'll be like a foundational business course, something around how do you make your first chunk of money in this business. And it won't be about six figures or anything like that because I think that is sort of a little bit overdone. Not that you can't make six figures, you can. But it's, let's like get down to the nitty gritty and really talk about, okay, what do you need to do as a business owner to be successful? Okay, so I just want to look through the questions I got via email. If you guys have any other questions that you want to ask me live, please do so now. Pop those into the chat. Okay, so one question I want to make sure I'm super clear about is people have asked, can we brand the detox as our own product? Yes, you totally can. You can take this and say, this is mine, and put your logo and your name all over it. That said, I have discovered that some people feel weird about it, which I totally get. In that case, if you feel a little awkward about it, I would suggest that you actually just take this and say, I'm using this detox because it's a proven model. So you guys can know that because I've had so many people go through it and now these other coaches have bought it and they've had so many people go through it and everyone is getting amazing results. Like, you know that it works. And there's nothing wrong with saying the reason I'm using this in my business is because I know it works. So I think that's a totally fine thing to say. Some people have asked what foods are removed in this program. So again, this is 100% whole foods cleanse. You don't have to we try to make it be really approachable and easy. You guys, one of the things we have to remember is that we as health coaches, we are so far ahead of the average person when it comes to looking at food for, supporting our bodies, for taking care of us, for helping to remedy some of the chronic conditions we experience. So you have to remember that people really, they're not ready to leap to where we are. And you want to think back to what were you doing when you first started? So the foods that get removed are the top inflammatory foods, dairy, gluten, and sugar. So just removing those three will push some people's bodies into detox because they've never done that before. I've had so many detoxers tell me, I've never gone 5 days without alcohol. And I'm always like, that is shocking. But I've had people tell me that. And so we remove those, we remove red meat. Really my goal with the way that I modeled this was I wanted it to be accessible. I wanted people to be able to feed most of it to their families. And I wanted people to go a little bit outside of their comfort zone, but not so far outside that they gave up. So there you go. So somebody emailed in and said, how much should I charge for my cleanse and how often should I run it? I think I have answered how often I should run it. I recommend that you charge a full price of $97 and an early bird of $77. So I actually feel, and you could do it differently. You could charge early bird of $97, full price of $127. For me, I actually found that didn't work as well, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. I just recommend that your early bird price is always the price you actually want to be paid. And I really recommend an early bird because it pushes people to a decision. So one of the things in marketing and sales is that we get worried about feeling like salesy or slimy or, and I get it. And I don't like to do slimy sales. I really believe in relationship-based business. But you have to help people make a decision, even if that decision is no. So like I said earlier, some day is not a day of the week. They have to decide, am I doing this or am I not? So an early bird helps people get to that decision because it gives them a motivation to decide by a certain date. That's another reason why I close the doors to my programs or I suggest you close the doors to your detoxes because I think it sort of feels like, oh, well, I can just make it be evergreen and I can have it sit on my website and it will always sell. But actually the opposite is usually true. When it's always available, it doesn't sell. So it's one of those things that, like, if you've ever had someone who you dated and you like semi-liked them, and then when they started dating someone else, you were like, man, maybe I did like them. Maybe that's a bad example, but like once something's gone, then you go like, oh, maybe I did want that. So it really just helps sort of get people to a decision point, right? I'm glad that made some of you laugh. It's cracking me up too. I'm just trying to think of like, what's a real life example? Because most of us aren't trained in business, right? Like we didn't know this stuff, so we have to learn. Okay, so somebody said, how much will I save with the early bird offer? What's the full price? So the full price is $797. The early bird offer is $597, so you save a full $200. And both of those are broken out into equal payment options if you'd rather do a payment plan. Okay. So somebody emailed me this, and I've already answered this, but I want to answer it again because her email just really I read it and I was like, oh, I can feel your pain. She said, I'm wanting to start a practice, but I've been struggling to launch. I truly relate to what you're saying about mastering the business side. That's where I'm struggling. I really need to establish some base income, and I'm trying to figure out how I could do that. I've actually bought a Done For You detox, but the marketing piece confuses me. So for, I think Selena was your name, right? You were asking how is this different from other groups? There's so much the marketing piece is there. So you're not just getting the product, you're learning how to sell the product, which really could be a class in and of itself. She says, I guess I'm wondering what kind of support there is in your program. In the other one, I don't even quite know how to edit the banner's, and the marketing is still a challenge. She said, maybe I would be doing your program maybe to learn marketing. And then she says, I guess my question is what kind of support and guidance is there in figuring out how to use the materials? Which I just was like, I read that and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally get it. Because I remember, like, even when I went to nutrition school, we had to download all these files. And even downloading the files, I was like, I don't even know how to do that. Like, I'm starting to feel like I really don't know anything. And we don't want you to feel like that, which is why, again, I will be there. Melanie is there. Jill is there. Plus, the rest of the community is so helpful. And as we find that you guys may have noticed when I walked you through the downloads page that I said like, oh, and this is new and this is new. It's because I listen. Like, we really listen to what's going on. We listen to where you're getting stuck, and we want to solve that for you. So I do regular updates of the program. And when I do those updates, it's always in an attempt to make the program better for you, more easily used, to get you better results. And once you sign up, you always have access to those updates. So the only place you don't have access to those updates is we will be offering a second round of recipes, so that if you do your first year, you can buy a second year of recipes. And the reason that I can't just include that is because it's actually costing me quite a bit of money to develop that. So as much as I would love to just be generous that way, that just does not work for my budget, or my accountant does not agree with that either. So, but again, like, we're having that made for you. So the cost to you will be a fraction of what it would be to actually either hire a chef to develop those recipes for you, or, speaking from experience, I've developed so many recipes and it takes a long time. It takes way longer than I ever thought it would, because I just like cook. And then I'm like, well, what did I put in? Oh, I have to make it again. Well, was it this much cinnamon or was it that much cinnamon? So it really takes a lot longer than we think it does. Okay. So another person has sent me this question that says, how does this program compare to similar offerings? What are the key differences or benefits? So one would be that the materials really are beautiful and they've been tested so many times. So you know that people really love this stuff. Two would be that you get the support of me, of Melanie, of Jill. I don't know anybody else, and maybe somebody does, but I don't know anybody else who's offering a team of 3 to support you, and especially a team who's trying to fill those knowledge and education gaps for you, so that you can feel really confident offering the program and in doing the technical side. So those are really key, important benefits. And then the other thing I would say is it really is 2 programs in one. You get all the detox materials and you get all the marketing training. So it's not like you get live trainings with me regularly. And for those of you who are actually in Detox Done, I think you can vouch for the fact that I'm in the group pretty much every day. So as you're launching, if you're like, I'm freaking out, somebody, like, this happened, or somebody said this to me, or whatever it is, or somebody asked for a refund, I'm there helping you figure out how do you respond to that person. Because the first time I ever got a refund, I remember being like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So basically, whatever problem you find yourself facing, remember that I've been in business for 8 years and I've probably dealt with that problem at some point. So you get to have feedback from somebody who's been there and done that. And I think that's really a nice thing too. Okay, so somebody else said, how fast can I get started with a detox program? Is mid-April too soon? And I think that's a great question because like you actually, you know, of course you have to do some work to implement this. So I actually think mid-April is very reasonable, especially if you sign up like right away, watch the training video, work through the materials, update the materials. And when I say update, like add your logo, add your name. You don't have to actually update anything. But then you can also make sure that you're following that 2-week launch calendar. And you can totally have, if you start marketing at the end of March, my calendar lives over here, so I'm looking at my calendar, you know, end of March, first week of April, you'll be fine. You can totally do your first program by then. I really want this to be a take it and go product so that you don't feel like you have to like wait for everything to get these answers and to get started. You can earn your money back really fast. Okay, so then someone said, oh, I think I'm reading. Those are just my copies of those questions. Okay, you guys, again, so let me give you the link. If you want to check it out for yourself, you can go to detoxdone.com. You can sign up there. I would love to see you there. If you have more questions, you can post them now. You're also welcome to email me at julia@thehealthcoachuprising.com. And then if you're not in my free Facebook group, you can ask questions there too. This group doesn't cost anything to join. I'm there a couple times a week. I love to support people in there. You can join that too. Let me do that. Let me clarify that. Free Facebook group. You can jump there and get your questions answered. So I think that's it for today. I think this is really exciting. I hope some of you can join me. We have a lot of people joining this round, so I think there's going to be a lot of great energy and excitement, and I am just really looking forward to helping you all with your health coaching practices. All right, so if there's nothing else for now, I will just say goodbye. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and don't forget that the early bird ends on Friday, March 24th. You want to make sure that you sign up by then to save a little bit of money. Okay, I'll talk to you all later. Hope you have a great one. Bye.